Just for a moment, close your eyes and picture your favorite mountain road. The natural topography altered only just enough to accommodate the asphalt, winding and undulating between hillside and escarpment, curves, crests, hollows, S's, camber changes, and switchbacks. No rest for the steering wheel and your head on a swivel. Now, take that road, make a 1.8 mile loop, remove the lane restrictions, and add some FIA curbing. Our lap of the world brings us this time to what may be Georgia's best roller coaster, as that is essentially Atlanta Motorsports Park. AMP is a riot of unapologetic elevation change littered with hairpins, increasing and decreasing radius turns, high-speed sweepers, and blind crests. This may be a tall order to learn in a single day. Frankly, I'm just stoked to be back on track. Departing on a balmy Friday afternoon with the windows down, the smell of freshly hewn lawns and charcoal grills in the air, and the roads lined with dogwood trees in full bloom, our route to Atlanta Motorsports Park this weekend takes us south from Knoxville, off the interstate, and through a corner of picturesque rural Appalachia. If you want to see the quaint, often pretty side of the southeastern United States, following Highway 68 south from Sweetwater, Tennessee is not a bad place to start. From there, you can detour up the Cherahalla Skyway towards Robbinsville, North Carolina, or continue winding south, as I did, through the Nantahala and Chattahoochee National Forests and into northern Georgia. Why not just take I-75 to Atlanta like any normal person? Well, as often is the case with racetracks, Atlanta Motorsports Park is only sort of in the vicinity of Atlanta. In reality, it sits just outside the small town of Dawsonville, Georgia, some 50 miles north of Mercedes-Benz Stadium and Turner Field. As such, the route down through Tellico Plains, Copper Hill, and East Ellijay, to name a few, actually saves up to an hour versus going the, quote, traditional route through Chattanooga. Dawsonville itself is your prototypical sleepy southern hovel. Small by most standards, but generally well manicured and full of charm. It's a place you may never have heard of, unless you follow stock car racing. In which case, you are undoubtedly familiar with Awesome Bill from Dawsonville, the 1988 NASCAR then Winston Cup champion. Bill Elliott is Dawsonville's most famous son. Among the winningest top-tier stock car drivers of all time, including 2 Daytona 500 victories, Bill has been inducted into both the Motorsports and NASCAR Halls of Fame. If you want to read up on the subject for yourself, just drive through town and stop at the Dawsonville pool room for lunch. Elliott's history is literally all over the walls. Like the Stop-In Tavern in Elkhart Lake or the Pistenklaus in Nürburg, the pool room isn't outwardly ostentatious, but it's an almost obligatory meal stop if you're a race fan, and in particular if you're a Bill Elliott fan. Good news, the burgers are nearly as good as the hospitality. While you're in Dawsonville, check out the Georgia Racing Hall of Fame, which shares a building with City Hall incidentally. Or, if you need a break from car stuff, I hear the local moonshine distillery is worth a visit. With respect to accommodations, I was lucky enough to find an open room at the Racers Retreat. If you're doing an event at AMP, this really should be the first place you call. It is quite literally across the street from the track. With rooms starting at $130, the nightly rate may seem a little bit higher than surrounding hotels, but the value proposition is a strong one. The closest chain hotel is about 20 minutes away, and rooms this well appointed in any major metropolitan market would run you $200 a night easy. Throw in a homemade-to-order full breakfast and truly friendly and hospitable hosts, and it's not a stay to pass up if you can snag one of the 3 available suites. Now then, whoever said getting there was half the fun has never been to a racetrack. And with that assertion, let's get to the important part of the trip. This 1.8 mile amusement park ride we have access to for the day. Good morning, everyone. We've made it to Atlanta Motorsports Park after a grueling 300-yard commute from the Racers Retreat last night. Highly recommended. The breakfast alone, I think, was worth the cost of the reservation. Anyhow, I'll just apologize in advance. If the autocross video was any evidence, I'm not a morning person. So, forgive me that. But we're here, we're unpacked, and we just need to go find the registration and driver's meeting, take care of all that business, and we'll get the day rolling. In operation since 2013, AMP's main circuit was penned by none other than Formula One track guru Hermann Tilke. His design proving an unintentional homage to the mountain roads so well known to the region. The F1 trend continues with the track's amenities, starting with AMP's lighting system, providing immediate notice to drivers of any on-track issues without the need to see a corner station. In addition to ample garage space and a massive skid pad area, AMP also boasts a state-of-the-art and immaculately appointed clubhouse, complete with an observation deck, lounge, and classrooms loaded with technology. This is where the folks from Performance Driving Experience, who put on this event, held the drivers' meetings, classroom sessions, and lunch, offering some tasty box lunches as an alternative to driving 15 minutes into town. Now then, let's have a closer look at the track itself. Okay, folks. First time at Atlanta Motorsports Park. Heading out of the pits. We got to take this first session and figure the track out. Watched a bunch of videos, so we'll see how much good that did me. We'll go from there.
Good to go.
Thank you, sir. All right, so I was told to be kind of careful about this pit out because it is fairly tight. And they weren't kidding. So we're going to wander out here. We're going to pay attention to our blend line. I'm not going to get in front of the Miata because really twisty track and Miata. Instead, I'm going to follow him. So apex number 1, brake into apex number 2. Watch as my camera falls on the floor. All right, so that's the first session down. I need to get my sea legs back under me a little bit. That first session always messes with my equilibrium a little bit when I haven't done this for a long time. So I'm going to take a walk and check out the Discovery Parts shop on the other side of the paddock. So let's head over. Ron and company at Discovery Parts have been saving track enthusiasts weekends since before I did my first event. Their trailer full of goodies, frequently making appearances at NASA Southeast events, as well as others across the region. They now also have a storefront at Atlanta Motorsports Park where you can find all manner of safety gear for both car and driver, as well as fluids and other consumables.
You're good to go.
Thanks, sir. All right, let's try this again, this time like we mean it. Oh, this track is a freaking roller coaster, man. So much elevation change. You're also never not doing something. It's like a big-ass autocross course. What? We're coming up on a new lap, so on this lap, let's just count the number of times my hands are perfectly straight and still for any appreciable amount of time. We'll say like a second. I'm not going to try and count while I'm driving, but there will be a video overlay, or I'll put a counter up or some crap. It's not going to be very many, though. Naughty, naughty. Technically, we can pass anywhere in this group except for the apex. Unfortunately, that was on the apex, which is okay. Discovery Parts is great. They've got all kinds of stuff, and while I was in there, I actually got some gloves. Don't tell my wife. Now, I know what you're thinking. You already have a pretty nice set of gloves. Why the frivolous purchase? Well, here's the thing. So these gloves are great. They have the silicone palms. They're really comfortable, but I think they're a little bit too big for me. Here's why. So if I grip the steering wheel and I go to turn, and this is without applying a ton of pressure, if I go to turn, you'll note down here that the glove, right there, the glove is not exactly moving with my hand. So when I go to turn the wheel, it feels like the glove moves, or my hand slides in the glove before the wheel moves, unless I grip the wheel very, very hard. Ideally, you want as light of a grip as possible on the steering wheel, within reason, to be able to use really fine inputs. And if you're having to apply a death grip to the wheel, then it's going to hamper your ability to do that. So I may need to explore getting a smaller pair, or, you know, maybe run without gloves today. However, you know, the gloves also serve other purposes, including, but not limited to, fire protection and abrasion protection and things like that. So, also easy to see the bright colors when you point someone by. So, we'll see what we can do, but that is an issue I'm dealing with today. After two what I'll call learning sessions, but prior to my illicit shopping trip, I decided to switch on the timing app for the last morning session to get some empirical measure of how much I had actually figured things out. So, here is an unedited lap with data for your consumption. 1 minute 38.0 seconds. For reference, after watching some other videos and doing some research, it seems like the threshold for what I would call a fast time for a street car at AMP is around the 1 minute 30 second mark. Now, I'm clearly off of that by some margin, but I do think that speaks in part to the nuanced complexity of AMP. At most tracks, you have a preceding straight to really plan out the next corner or complex. AMP affords no such luxury. Combine that with a number of blind elements, and the learning curve here is on the steep side. If I'd had another couple of sessions, if I weren't 6+ months of rusty, and if I had a chance to go back after reviewing my in-car video, I think I could probably put a dent in that difference. But this is about what I could accomplish in a single day. What I did accomplish was getting back to the track and checking Atlanta Motorsports Park off the list on our lap of the world. With that, and having had a couple of days to reflect, I can say a few things about the weekend. First, AMP is a workout. Now, admittedly, I'm driving without power steering or harnesses, which is kind of hard mode, but even so, it takes a lot for my shoulders to be sore the day after an event. Secondly, I'd like to commend Steve and company at Performance Driving Experience for a really relaxed and well-run event. Consider it a compliment that until I actually talked to Steve and some of his staff, I didn't realize that PDE was new to the track day provider game. So props to PDE, 10 out of 10, would drive with them again. I also want to give a shout out to my friend TJ, whose red 240SX makes an occasional cameo in today's video. Unfortunately, my plans for a little bit of car collaboration didn't work out this weekend, but we'll catch up to him soon enough. Last but not least, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I'm really glad I was finally able to get back to doing what I set out to with this channel and take you guys along for the ride. And on that note, and in the interest of continual improvement, please leave a comment below and let me know if there are things that you'd like to see more of, less of, or if I left anything out that you'd like to see included in any future track feature videos. And of course, click the like button if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you again very much. I'm Richard. This is Lap of the World, and I'll see you guys in the next video, if not at the track. Looking further ahead also makes you significantly smoother in the end as well, so go faster, vomit less. Profit.